Evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. This is the March 5th Select Board meeting. We are being recorded by CTSB. Are you live, Diego? Live. And Clarence, are you recording as well? Yep. So we have Clarence Fanto from the Berkshire Eagle. I don't have any announcements to point out other than the recordings. So I guess first we'll accept the minutes from last week.
So I'll make a motion, we accept the minutes of February 26, 2025.
Second.
All in favor or any discussion?
Aye. Aye.
I'm going to abstain.
Three of us, aye.
Yep, she
And
abstains.
And I'm going to abstain, yes.
So is anyone here to talk that is not part of our general business later on? Doesn't sound like it. Okay, thank you. Ed, we have 4 items on the consent agenda.
4 items on the consent agenda. First is a use request. Lenox Chamber of Commerce, they're looking for the auditorium for April 30th for a job fair. They did it last year and it was very, very well attended.
Yeah,
And it's very cool. Use request for Mass Audubon, Kennedy Park, for June 14th for the annual Wild Thing Trail Race Walk. And we have appointments of Christine Conklin to the Zoning Board of Appeals as an alternate member, and she was highly recommended by Robert Fuster for that position. And then we have to ratify some new personnel. Some of them are here. Eamon Coughlin is our brand new land use director. Cassie Kristen is our programs manager for Lenox Community Center. Vanessa Justice is our new youth librarian for the Lenox Library. And Stephen Flanders is our new worker at the DPW. He'll be a truck driver and laborer. So welcome aboard, all of you. And if nobody wants to discuss any of those matters, I'll look for a motion to accept the consent agenda.
First, I'd just like to thank the new appointments and new employees for helping out here in town.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, Ed. Let's get past one. Done. So we approved consent agenda. The next under our general business, and we've, this has been something in the works for a while. It's, are you folks going to present?
I would like to, or?
Yes, please.
Just answer any questions.
Would love to. So in general, we have a proposal that I believe started in 2022 for what is called a Gold Star Family Memorial, which will be next to Town Hall here, down between here and the monument. And Smitty, I'd love to have you talk about it.
Well, thank you very much. I'm Smitty Pignatelli Lenox. Deanna, welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Jay, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
And it's good to see you guys again. Yeah, we've been working on this Gold Star Family Memorial. Just to give you a quick history, I was in Fall River a couple of years ago, and they've got an amazing Veterans Park in Fall River, and they have a scaled version of the Vietnam Wall, a scaled version of the Marine Corps Memorial of raising the flag at Iwo Jima. And what really caught my eye was this Gold Star Family Memorial. I had never seen one before. And upon further research, it's the only one in the entire state of Massachusetts. So I thought it'd be great to maybe do another one in Berkshire County. So I started going town by town, all throughout the Berkshires, gathering names of soldiers off plaques and memorials all throughout the Berkshires. And I'm up to 600 names. Gold Stars got established in World War I. So World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, all the Gulf Wars and the Afghan Wars, we have over 600 names. So I thought, I looked around Lenox a little bit, very selfish and parochial about Lenox, as you all know, but I thought Lenox would be a good spot. Limited on space in Lenox, unfortunately, and I thought a perfect spot would be as you face the town hall right to the right of there. And I remember meeting with Chris Ketchen and Billy Gopp to take a look at it. And they kind of gave me a verbal okay, but I wanted to give the courtesy to you guys and get the new town manager a heads up as well. I like to take the trees down because it's deceiving a little bit, but as you get closer to the police station, the grade really drops off quite a bit. So being closer to the building, it's a little flatter, and we can kind of navigate some of the topography. I've got contractors lined up. We've raised about 80% of our goal already just since December. There's a lot of interest here, and with your hopefully reaffirmation or a blessing, we can move forward. And I think the trees could come down probably in the next month to 6 weeks. I've got a contractor lined up to do the excavation, put in a foundation. We're finalizing the design right now. I kind of put that on hold until I heard from you guys, because this property I've had surveyed and I've had engineered already with the trees gone. if there's any issues about the trees, we may have to re-engineer it. I'm not sure what that's going to cost us, but I think when you guys redid the cupola, it really caught I think it's a beautiful building anyways, but when you drive up West Street, next time, look at that cupola and look how big these trees are. They're hiding a beautiful building, and when the sun is setting there in the afternoon, the sun shining off of that gold dome on the cupola was incredible, and I thought a Gold Star memorial right there would really draw attention to it. And it's a perfect intersection. Nothing's blocking it. There's no cars parked there to block it. It will be open and visible to everybody throughout the season. So my goal, or our goal, and I want to introduce Dr. Robert Coakley, who's part of our committee. He lost a brother in Vietnam, lost his grandson during the Afghanistan war situation. Ricky Fiore is on our committee as well, who lost an uncle who served in World War II, went back into there during the Korean War, and sadly was killed in action. Alan North, who sadly just passed away last week, was on our committee, a Vietnam veteran who lost two uncles, two brothers in the the World War II, and Brigadier General retired Marie Field, the first woman in the history, nearly 400-year history of the Massachusetts National Guard to achieve the rank of general. And she was the assistant adjutant general for the state of Massachusetts. So that's been our committee. We've been out raising money. We're doing pretty well. But now we're ready to go public. And I think that could hopefully close the gap on our fundraising goals. The goal for us right now would be to do a lot of the site work before the Tanglewood season opens, get the grass growing, and then shut it down. And then the memorial could be installed in September, hopefully October at the latest, it's going to look like it's been there forever because the grass will be all grown in, filled in, and everything. I didn't want to have a lot of construction in the center of Lenox with everything else you guys are doing in the center of Lenox. So we would do it in April and May, be out of there by June, and then come back in September for a couple of days, clean up an establishment, and have a public unveiling. So I'm really excited about it. I don't want to share with you our rough designs on this just yet, but I can tell you the goal is to have maybe 3 stones, hopefully looking like the rolling hills of Berkshire County. In the center will be the Gold Star seal, which I have a picture of that I can show you. That's the Gold Star seal. That will be the centerpiece with Berkshire County Gold Star Family Memorial on it. The stone on the left will be a map laser printed or engraved into the stone. It's going to be black marble. I think that gold will really pop off. We're going to show every single town in the county that's paid the ultimate sacrifice, and then we're going to have some verbiage on the stone on the right, thanking the families who've lost a loved one, like the Coakleys and other people like that. So Ed, you're a Gold Star family yourself, losing an uncle in World War II. So I think we all have our own stories, but Lenox historically has done a great job recognizing our fallen soldiers. I think the Berkshires have done a great job. The one thing that not many places but Fall River have ever done is recognizing the families. You know, my namesake, who was killed in World War II, he's forever 19. I have this only picture of him on my dresser at home. He's forever 19 years old, but the families that are left to deal with these things, like the Coakleys and the Fiores and the North family, have to deal with this for the rest of their lives. So I think it's a tribute to them, and I think it's going to be it'll be an attraction for Lenox, and a real tribute, a continuation of the good work that Lenox historically has done for recognizing those sacrifices throughout Berkshire County. So I'd like to get permission to take the trees down. I understand you may need a public hearing for that, which is fine. I know some people would be hesitant to have trees taken down, but I think when they know what it's for, and I'm committed to whatever trees we take down, we'll plant new trees and have a very nice landscape veterans park at the town hall that will kind of bookend our veterans flagpole on the other side as well. But Bobby's here. I mean, this is personal to him as well, losing 2 family members. He's happy to talk to as well. But any questions you guys may have, we're happy to try to address them or get more information for you.
I don't think there's any question that of the merits of the project. It's, you know, it's very fitting. It's a great location. There's nothing about it that I think we'd oppose at all. I think we'd 100% support it. We just need whatever steps, you know, to finalize your design and make it work, you know, construction-wise. And Billy will, or who's our tree warden that would have to do a hearing?
Bill and I met with Smitty already, and we can continue to work with him and his team. to make sure that it fits in there. As Smitty said, and we warned him ahead of time, we're required by law, Massachusetts General Law 87, I believe, in order to have a shade tree hearing, and it's nothing more than like a zoning board process. We just have to post the meeting, let people know we're doing it, listen to that, and go from there.
And if you guys would commit to the public hearing for the trees, then I can finalize our design, show you what trees we would plant to replace it, and move forward. I'm not asking the town for any money at all. This is all a volunteer effort. We've done our own fundraising. I'm not looking for the taxpayers to pay for anything, but we're ready to move forward. And I think the timing of this is really important to keep our momentum going.
I have just a question about the location, because the VFW does hold its meetings and celebrations at the end of every Memorial Day down at the Academy building.
We have asked to have space in the police station downstairs,
Oh, okay.
simply because most of our members can't climb the stairs in the
Okay.
Academy building, so
Which almost makes this place even better.
it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
It will,
Yeah.
and, you know, we're on track, fingers crossed, to move in to the new building. Hopefully people have noticed that the new building's really coming along, but August, September, you know, probably famous last words here.
Maybe a little later than that, probably.
I think our moving will probably be more difficult than getting the building.
Full disclosure, I looked at Triangle Park, which is a very busy park now. There's more park benches in Triangle Park than there maybe is in Lilac Park. But the thing that when you drive by there, there's always cars parked on Main Street. It would block this memorial. This location here, nothing is going to block it. No matter what direction you're going to, north, south, east, west, you're going to see this. And I think it's important, and I think it's a real recognition of the families that have made a sacrifice, that, you know, the Berkshires are standing tall, and Lenox is going to be, well, the former county hub, the county seat, Lenox. It could be a very appropriate place. Lilac Park is almost off limits in many regards. I didn't think that was appropriate. There's nothing else. There's really nothing else.
I think that's right. I mean,
Yeah.
we just did work at, were you, oh, I'm sorry, you're just adjusting your camera. Oh, your hand was up. We just, as you know, fixed Triangle Park with the drainage and new sidewalk there. And it's, I think more people sit there than before.
Yeah.
You know,
Can I add something?
of course.
So Smitty, you alluded to the fact that I am part of a Gold Star family, which is true. So I'm 100% behind this project. You couldn't get anybody that's more behind it. And I'll say that to anybody, any public meetings we have to get this done. I would suggest that we get the public meeting for the trees done first.
Yeah.
But I would suggest that you and whoever meet with Jay, because there might be some other little hurdles, not big things,
Yep.
but we have this building monuments on town land and
Yep.
historical society, and that stuff, you know, it's timely, has to get done,
Yeah.
you have to see plans. So, and we can help move that forward as much as we can. I think that's all we really have to do.
Yeah, Jay and I communicated about that today.
So-
I wish I knew that a year ago when we started these conversations, but I think it's important to accelerate that process as much as we can. And with your blessing, I think we're going to be well on our way.
But that can go along fairly timely. It's a,
Yeah.
post-it meeting, it's a, maybe put something in the paper, a 2-week thing, whatever it is. But spring is gonna sneak up here pretty darn quick, so.
I
you know,
hope so.
Yeah, we all hope so. You
I'm gonna delegate-
heard it here, folks.
I'll delegate that to Eamon. Eamon's here tonight. He's the guy that kind of walked me through the steps, and he and Bill can coordinate on getting the public shade tree hearing set up and go from there. That's the biggest step.
Let's get
And,
that. Any required things that I just mentioned, proximity to the building, I don't think from the stuff that you showed me, granted it's not a final design or anything like that, I don't think we're influencing the retaining walls, or, you know, because there's that one
No.
steep one by the parking for what will not be police anymore, and then up here, but, and then remember that sign closest to the intersection for Lenox Police will take
won't be
that away.
There we go. So,
Yeah.
but I'll tell you right now, the total length is almost 14 feet long. The base will be about 3.5 feet wide, and it's going to be elevated. And at the peak, it's 7 feet tall. So it's not a big, gaudy.
It's not huge, is it?
No, it's not. And you know, some people look at 7 feet. Oh my God, is that tall? But when you put it next to a tall building, it looks very appropriate. In fact, I mean, it looks too small, but, so we're very sensitive about the location. And the 3 stones, the ends are 3.5 feet wide. The middle stone is 4.5 feet wide. But the overall slab will be almost 14 feet long. And that's so we're going to tighten it up. I'm always hesitant because based on how much more money we can raise, there's a lot of things we like to do, maybe a hardscape, walkway or something like that. But I'm always hesitant to go public with our design because if we don't raise enough money, well, that's not what you showed me last month. This monument will be the monument, but the other amenities will be based on how much money we can raise.
What is the budget?
We threw out a budget of $175,000.
Okay.
And, I told Clarence, we're at 80% of that right now.
Oh, good.
And we're 80% in the bank, not pledges, we're in the bank. We've really worked hard since December to make this thing happen, and we have more to do. So hopefully getting it out there in public, people will see Clarence's front page article tomorrow and say, oh my God, how do I donate?
Pressure's on.
We've partnered with the Nonprofit Center of the Berkshires. They're our 501c3 fiduciary, so they're handling all the donations and the tax exempt status, and we're ready to roll.
So there's going to be a public hearing for the tree. And then if the trees are taken down, there will be a replacement tree, shade tree on the west side?
Landscaping intended
Okay.
for his.
I will assure you, if we take, the maple tree is in pretty bad shape anyways. The magnolia probably could stay, but I know this has been a problem since I was a selectman, where the roots are growing into the foundation of the town hall. I will replace tree for tree with something that's more manageable and easy to maintain for the town. I'm not asking you guys to do anything.
No, I understand that.
We will take care of everything.
I just think it's important to have that tree on the west side of town hall because, there's pretty big windows there in the town clerk's office, and I'm
Yeah.
sure that they appreciate the shade in the summertime.
We will plant healthy trees,
Okay.
not bushes. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, Jake, I think what we can do tonight is move that you take all necessary steps to hold a tree hearing to make this proceed. Does that make sense?
It does.
And assist, or Eamon will assist Smitty in what other hearings have to be done.
Yeah, and if you can tell me the date of that, I can get our engineers to kind of accelerate the final steps for design and, drawings to contractors know what they're doing. And we'll have it lit up at night as well, very obscure, recessed into the marble at the base, cascading up. It's going to be really sharp. I'm really proud of what we've done so far.
You don't know any electricians, do you?
I know a couple. We're going to see who gives the lowest price.
All right, how does this sound? I'll move that the select board authorize, is it the right word maybe? Sure. Authorize Jay to work with the Gold Star Family Memorial Committee to proceed with tree hearings and other necessary things as needed from the land use department or otherwise to make this project go forward.
Okay, that's good.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
And one last thing while I'm here, it's a total separate topic, but just as an FYI, we're bringing the traveling Vietnam Wall to Lenox this summer.
Oh, wow.
We've already raised that money too. I'm not asking for anything. It's going to be at the War Memorial Baseball Field. It's the only place it would fit.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to do that in Lilac Park, but the park's not big enough. Looked at Orbed, not big enough. War Memorial, but got plenty of parking. And that's been about 3 years in the making because they just travel all over the country. But it's coming to Lenox, July 10th to July 14th. So,
Thank you.
yeah, it's going to be fun.
Cool.
All right, so thank you. So we'll be in touch. So you'll be in touch.
I will.
And I appreciate your support very much. You'll be proud of this when it's over with. All right?
Thanks, Smitty.
Okay, thank you very much.
Very much, thanks.
I would only do what he tells me to do, so.
Does he need to salute?
Anything you want to say, Bob? This is your family.
Well, just that we're very thankful to Smitty for doing this. He puts a lot of time in, and it means a lot to our family, and it will particularly mean a lot to our children, grandchildren, and our great-grandchildren, which we have. So we're thrilled with it, and we appreciate your vote.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Stay dry.
Let's do it for that.
Okay, so next we're going to need a public hearing. We have folks here to present materials. The Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities, or CDBG, pardon me, rehab program has a grant application process to discuss, and we have some paperwork as well. So I will need first motion to open a public hearing.
I'll make a motion, we open the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sorry, just
That's okay.
technical.
I just was trying to let you speak.
Yep. Okay, so we have a public hearing open. Would you like to go ahead and make your presentation?
Thank you. Good evening. I am Cassie Boyd Marsh from Bailey Boyd Associates. I am your current grant administrator for your Community Development Block Grant, which has just started up a few months ago and is your first year running this program for housing rehabilitation services. I thought I'd give you a little bit of update about what's happening now, and then we can talk about the opportunity available. So the Housing Rehab Program is funded through the Massachusetts Executive Office of Housing Livable Communities. It's the Community Development Block Grant, and it's focused on funding housing rehabilitation services for residents right now of Lenox and Lee that make 80% or less of the median income. This program, we can go in and spend up to $70,000 per home on repairs. That includes things like health and safety violations, lead abatement, radon, asbestos, new septics, new roofs, new windows, code violations. We really focus on the critical needs that families who otherwise can't afford them need on their home. And one of the best parts about it is that the homeowners don't have to pay it back as long as they stay in their home. It's structured as a 15-year, 0% deferred forgivable loan. So with every year they stay in the home, 1/15 of their loan is forgiven. And after 15 years, it's forgiven completely. If they do move within those 15 years, the portion remaining on their loan gets paid back to the town of Lenox to be used on similar projects. So it's really a wonderful program. I should also mention that if the house stays in the family, they also don't have to repay the loan. So we are up and running right now with Dawn Lemon from Berkshire Community Development, who's on the ground helping homeowners in Lenox and Lee. She is off to the races. Even though the program has only really just gotten started, she is full with the 11 units that she anticipates that will be able to help this year. I believe it's 8 Lenox, 3 Lee right now.
Correct.
We've had great support from your community, so we're thrilled to be working with you between Mary Beth and Jay and Kate and Eamon and your fiscal team and Smitty, who I've spoken to. It's been a really wonderful process so far. And the need, as I'm sure you know, in this community is significant. So we're happy to answer questions about the current program, but while I'm talking, I will also talk a little bit about the opportunity available for next year. So this is a competitive grant round every year. So every year the town has to apply for new funds if they would like to continue. And there's an application due April 14th this year. And we are proposing that Lenox apply with Sandusville this year. And there's a few reasons why we are making this proposed change. 25% of the score of this grant is based on what is called a needs score, which is published by the federal government. It's your percentage of residents that are considered low and moderate income. And they had not updated those data since before COVID until this year. And unfortunately, in the Berkshires, whether it's accurate to what we're seeing or not, both Lenox and Lee are considered less competitive. Lenox is now a 5, and they were, I believe, at 8 last year. But Lee is a 3 now, out of 10. That's the maximum score. And my concern is making sure that the communities that can get funded, get funded. And I've spoken with Lee, and I do not believe a community with a 3 need score is competitive right now, unfortunately. So our proposition is to include Sandusfield instead. Sandusfield is an 8. And Sandusfield has participated in this program in the past. As you know, they're a very small community, so we added them to grants in years past. We went through the entire wait list, and they were done with houses that needed to be assisted, but they've got some more on the wait list now. So it's really a benefit for both communities. They get to join this program, but it'll help Lenox get funded. It will also, because of the size of Sandusfield, we anticipate that the majority of funds will go to Lenox residents. It's a first come, first served program, so I can't guarantee number of units, but I anticipate that if we can do 12 units next year, it'll be roughly 10 Lenox to Sandusfield. So there's additional funds if you have another town with you, so we can do more units if we add a second town. So that's our thinking with that change. I am happy to turn it over to Dawn, who can talk more in depth about the program or answer any questions, and I'm also happy to discuss any questions you might have about the program.
I would just like to add one thing. We have, sorry, one minute.
I'm fine with you, but Diego would like to have you.
Dawn Lemon from Berkshire Community Development. I have been running the program since the contracts were signed in late November. As Cassie said, I have 11 projects in the works. 8 of them are from Lenox, 3 of them from Lee. 5 of them are under contract, believe it or not, in a short 2 months. And then the other 6 should be in the next month. I do run a pretty tight ship. And we have, as of today, 70 Lenox residents on the wait list. So it's crazy. There, have been a few residents disappointed because they've put in a pre-application, and it was one of the first pre-applications they put in a year ago, but that doesn't save you a spot in the program. You need to get me a full application and all the supporting documentation. So I'm sure the 70 residents on the wait list would be thrilled to have another year of funding.
How long might this continue? I mean, I understand that we need to redo things each year, and it might be with different towns and whatnot.
Sure. I can tell you that our firm, which was founded by my mother, and I'm now owning, has been working in some communities for 35 years. And, maybe once did not, but either with numbers or whatever, did not get funding. But we started on the Cape and Islands, which we also still work there. And I've been doing this for 16 and have been on the Cape and Islands every year in those 16 years.
Welcome to the Berkshires.
We've also been in the Berkshires for about 8 now. So I'm thrilled to be on both ends of the state. I love them both.
As a point of information, this particular program has been running at HUD for 50 years. It is a very successful program. It's excellent because it preserves existing housing units and improves existing housing units for people who might not be able to afford to improve their homes on their own.
Right. We also occasionally do rental units, and in which case if it's a low-income owner of that rental unit, we can have the same rules apply. If they're above income, they match us 1-for-1, and then it goes to your SHI, because it's a deed restriction for 15 years. The other point is that it's an economic catalyst because we are hiring local contractors, local everyone. So it's really assisting the community from top to bottom. It's a great program.
Well, we've endorsed this before, so I see no opposition. Well, I should speak for my fellow select board members, but this is kind of a side question. We'll move to processes, but do distressed properties in any way, meet this requirement, or you need to you need to reside there, right?
Right, you have to reside there, and the scope of the program is moderate rehab. Of course, moderate rehab is a tricky concept, but homes past a certain level of, there's a state law that I think if you spend more than 30% of the value of the property on repairing it, you have to get the whole property up to code. And so that's not something that if we can't do that, we can't.
It's like pulling a string. If you
Exactly.
cross the threshold, then the building inspector's line.
Dawn is very good at walking into a home and kind of understanding what the potential is here. We can occasionally ask for more than the $70,000 as a max, but we have to show that it's critical. Lead abatement, things like that.
Well, $70,000 in Lenox doesn't bring it up to 30% usually.
No. I went off topic with the distress thing, but we've got a few things in town that are just.
Oh, I know. Yes.
It's a great, from the town manager's perspective, we're often asked, no matter where your community is, how do I get access to grant money? It's the CDBG program, a lot of other federal and state programs, that money is always usually granted to the municipality, and the municipality has to execute it.
Mm-hmm.
And very few times does that money actually go into a homeowner or to a citizen. So the housing rehab program is one of the few ways to actually get federal dollars passed through the state, through the municipality, actually into the homeowner's hands, the constituent's hands. So it's one of the few mechanisms to do that.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Great. Well, Dan, do we have any written response to the
Ed's got a motion.
I got a motion.
No, I know we have a motion. I'm just looking at the hearing, if there was any questions submitted to us. I'm good. Okay, so let's close the hearing first, and then,
Make a motion, we close the hearing?
Second.
all in favor?
Aye. So now I'll make a motion to, I move to submit fiscal year ·25 regional CDBG grant for housing rehabilitation and authorize the town manager or designee to sign the grant application and associated forms.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you for coming to present that. And this will be, same as last year, we'll get this out on our website and distribute it, you know.
We really appreciate all of your help and support with this. It's been
Well, it's important.
a wonderful
There's-
process so far.
Every day in the paper,
Thank
there's an
you.
article about
Yeah.
housing.
And keep the pre-applications coming.
Yeah, we love to keep doing this for years and years and years, and the wait list will grow. What we do notice after the first year in a community is that we see another rush once someone's neighbor or friend has had their home fixed, because it seems like kind of a strange thing that you're asking for, you know, a strange program that no one's heard of, and then all of a sudden your neighbor has a new roof and new windows, and the pre-apps on that street, we get the whole street. So that's wonderful.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, we love it. Thank you
And
so much.
hopefully the people that felt disappointed will get to reapply as well.
Yeah, yeah, they're on the list.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wonderful, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Good to see you all.
Thank you both.
Thanks.
You're very welcome.
That we, so the last thing is really just a continuation. We have the public hearing for the water and sewer rates, which we initiated on the 12th, continued again last week, and we are going to continue it to 2 weeks from now, which will be the 19th. This is appropriate. Last year, we set the rates on March 13th, and Bill Gopp and the folks in town here need a little more time to set the rates, so do we have a motion to continue?
Yeah, I'll move to continue the FY 2026 water and sewer rates to March 19th, 2025.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
That is it for us. We will be meeting here again 2 weeks from today. We hope that we're back onto a 2-week regular schedule.
We're gonna try.
We're going to try. And that's all we have. Thanks, everyone.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.